Hi, and welcome to the ROP information session. My name is Narendra, and I'm an Experiential Learning Officer from the Experiential Education Unit in the Office of the Dean. I am joined by my colleague, Sam, a fellow Experiential Learning Officer, and by James, Community Engagement Officer. Today's session will provide you with key information pertaining to the ROP program. And please note the presentation portion of today will be recorded and posted to our website. The Q&A, however, will not be recorded. So let's get started. All right, before we begin, we wish to acknowledge the land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, this has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. All right, we will begin with an overview of the ROP, then we will discuss the ROP app and the steps you need to follow to apply to a project, followed by a few words on ROP contracts. You will then hear from Leah and Dua, our EEU student ambassadors, to talk about their own ROP experience. All right, we're gonna dive into the ROP overview. Okay, the ROP, or Research Opportunity Program, is a 4-credit experiential learning opportunity offered to students in their 2nd to 4th year of study. Participating students will have the opportunity to get involved with practical cutting-edge research while working one-on-one with faculty. While completing an ROP, students will develop and gain practical skills such as leadership and communication skills, which can be applied towards their career goals or future graduate studies. Students also have the chance to build strong relationships with their instructors and explore new areas of interest. All right, students across all 3 campuses have the opportunity to apply to UTM ROPs. However, UTM students will be given priority. Students must meet all necessary prerequisites and exclusions to participate in an ROP project. We strongly encourage students to speak with the department undergraduate advisor for the department in which their ROP course of interest is housed. The department undergraduate advisor can provide you the prerequisite and exclusion requirements for that department. Please also review the prerequisite and exclusion document that is found on our ROP website. Students should also ensure that they meet the faculty members' project requirements to be considered for a project. We'll be talking about this in detail later. All right. Students are not allowed to enroll in more than 1 ROP course per term. Therefore, if you're taking a year-long project that is fall/winter, you will not be allowed to enroll in a half-credit project in the fall or winter terms. If you are enrolled in a summer ROP, you will be able to participate in an ROP course that is offered in the fall, winter, or year-long course. We encourage students to check with their department when using ROP courses for program/degree completion requirements. Students are not able to enroll in ROP courses through Acorn. Students must apply through the ROP app, and the Experiential Education Unit staff will enroll and approve students in their respective ROP courses at the beginning of each term. Your credit eligibility is dependent on 2 major components. It is the prerequisite and exclusion list, which is your guide in determining your project application to a 299, 399, or 499 course. And secondly, the number of credits completed prior to the selected term. That is, a student in historical studies, for example, currently enrolled in 8 credits can apply to any of the 399 level projects offered in summer 2026. On our website, we have a prerequisite and exclusion list there that you can review if you have any questions. All right. As an ROP student, you will be required to complete the following. Students must keep a journal to record meetings, progress of their work, what was learned in the project, and the nature of the research in general. This provides your supervisor with an ongoing record of your progress in the project. A journal may be optional for 399 and 499 projects. However, some form of record keeping as assessment is required. At minimum, students are to meet with their supervisor biweekly and are to record and keep record of these meetings in their journal. Students are required to attend all demonstrations, orientations, and training sessions that the supervisor may require. In addition to the student's journal, it is recommended that students submit a 2-page interim report detailing and outlining their research experience before midterms marks are assigned. Equally, the supervisor will complete a written assessment of the student's progress and discuss with the student before the deadline to drop courses without penalty. Additional work in some form, including the journal, should constitute at least 50% of the final grade. Final grades will be numeric and there will be no final exam. Okay, the recommended number of hours you will be dedicating towards the ROP varies by session and credit value as allotted there. For full year courses that span for a 4-month term, that is from September to December, January to April, or May to August, the recommended weekly hours is 15 to 20. Please note that summer ROPs always span from May to August, irrespective if they are a half or full credit course. For a year-long course spanning from September to April, it is advised that students complete a minimum of 8 to 10 hours per week. Year-long ROPs are always a full credit course. Okay, now preparing an application for submission. When considering the ROP, we recommend students to take the following steps in preparation to submit an application through the ROP app, which is just a website. We call it ROP app for simplicity's sake. First, review the project listing in the ROP app. The ROP app is the online system on the EU website where research projects are posted by faculty and can be reviewed and applied to by students. Before submitting your applications during the application window, you can review what is being offered within the online application system by logging into the ROP app using your UTOR ID and password. This is a great way for you to get a sense of various projects within each discipline. After reviewing the projects, it is recommended that you contact the faculty instructor either by email, you can visit them during their office hours, or by scheduling a meeting to learn more about the project. This is a great way for the faculty instructor to learn more about you and your interests in their project offerings. During this time, ask questions to determine whether the project is the right fit for you. Please visit the Experiential Learning Resources page on our EU website to review tips for approaching a professor resource. Each project applications require a cover letter and resume specifically tailored to each of the project. If you've never drafted a resume or a cover letter previously, please visit the Career Center for a resume and cover letter workshop and sign up for a resume and cover letter critique. Here is the timeline for the 2026-2027 ROP cycle. The application period for students open on February 9th and closes on March 2nd, 2026. So that is important for you to note. And this timeline is available on our website and is subjected to changes. Yeah, so I'm just going to pause here for a minute and before I pass it over to my colleague, James. Okay, thank you so much, James.
Thank you, Narendra. Hi, everyone. So I'm going to go to how to apply to a project. So I'll be walking you through the steps and showing you the platform for submission of all ROP project proposals and student applications. So in order to apply to these research opportunity programs, you must first visit the ROPAP website, which is uoft.me/ROPAPP. All users can access the application system by using their UTOR ID. The application homepage will look like this. A user agreement form will pop up for the first-time users, which you'll have to agree to before proceeding. The homepage also provides an explanation for each of the tabs listed at the top: Home, Project, My Briefcase, and Logout. The application deadline is always listed on the top right corner of the ROP app on all pages. Let's take a look at the ROP app after selecting projects. The Projects tab leads you to this view of the ROP app. There is a search feature on this page where you can look for faculty names, departments, or specific projects. You can also search by session code if you're looking to apply to a project within a specific term. The Briefcase feature functions as a wish list, and you can add up to 5 potential projects to it. When you go to the Projects tab, it will have a pop-up at the top of the page like this. Make sure you are thoroughly reading through this as it is important information to consider before applying to a project. Make sure you are also checking the prerequisites and exclusions list before applying to the project, as Narendra had mentioned. Please also speak with your undergraduate academic advisor to ensure that you are aware of how a project may be counted towards your program and/or degree. We also encourage you to speak with the undergraduate advisor of the department that houses the ROP course that you are interested in as a means to fully understand the prerequisite and exclusions requirement for that project. Please be mindful of the session in which the ROP project is being offered. ROP courses are held during the summer, fall, winter, and year-long, which covers both the fall and winter term. Let's take a look at a project example together in detail. This is an example of an ROP science project. When looking through the project, ensure you are reading through the project title, course code, project session, instructor's contact information, and note the number of student spots available. Spots available represents the number of students the instructor intends to involve in conducting this research project. In this example, there is 1 spot available. The project will have objectives and methodology, description of student participation, and a list of skills required. The objectives and methodology description will provide a detailed overview of the project's purpose and approach. The description of student participation will outline the various ways in which students will be actively involved in the project. And the list of skills required will detail the specific skills or experiences necessary for successful consideration in this research project. So benefits reminder: excellent experiences to add to your resume, transferable skills development, oral and written communication development, including presentation skills development, resume and cover letter writing skills, opportunities to explore career options and other subject areas. Benefits of engaging in EL: you get to develop an engaged citizenship, fostering civic responsibility, and contributing to the broader public good. Improved attitudes towards social responsibility, respect and tolerance for diversity and connection to others, and a likelihood of continuing to work with the community. So when you are finished viewing projects that are of interest to you, you can add them to your briefcase. Again, the briefcase feature functions as a wish list, and students can add up to 5 potential projects to it. And with that, I'm going to pass things over to my colleague, Sam.
Thank you so much, James. Okay, so we're going to go through a project that is in my briefcase now as an example. So when clicking on a project in your briefcase, it'll show the project number at the top left there, the project session at the top right, the title of research project, the supervisor name, and then your email address and contact phone number there. You'll then be directed to the mandatory fields that require your completion. So these fields would first be qualification, then the list of programs of study that you're planning to enroll in and or are currently enrolled in, and then your interest. So for the interest section, students are encouraged to use this section to identify additional research areas of interest in relation to the project that you're applying for. Then you would put your resume and finally your cover letter. So you're then asked to read the terms of agreement and the ROP rules prior to submitting your application. So it's very important you read those sections because you want to know what you're agreeing to when you're applying to these projects. You then want to click on the Submit Application button to finalize your application. And just to note, some faculty may contact you for an interview when considering your application. So we just went over a science project example earlier, but there are different projects available across various disciplines. So for example, there's an example right here on the slide of an ROP project in the social sciences. So this is a SOS 299Y course, and this project examines how transnational, racist, and colonial logics shape institutions and practices that affect Haiti as a country and the contexts that affect the lives and trajectories of Haitian migrants. So these are nice examples to see because these are ROPs that have been offered in the past. You can get an idea of what might be offered in the future. So when you're participating in a project like this, you'll be involved in conducting archival research. So here's another example of an ROP project. This is in the humanities discipline. This is an EDS 399Y course that aims to support newcomer and refugee Canadians as they adjust to school and work. This project seeks to learn and advance English language skills while supporting cross-cultural understanding. You'll be involved in all aspects of the research from the development of an ethical review document to the implementation of the program, as well as testing technology. Now let's speak a little bit about contracts. So contracts are an opportunity to outline the responsibilities of the instructor and yourself, the student, for the duration of the project. We ask that acceptances and declines are done in a timely manner in order to open up a spot for another student. If an instructor offers a student a position within their project, you'll be able to accept via the ROP app. A project contract is automatically sent, and you'll have the opportunity to review the contract and accept and decline the offer this way. If you accept the project offer, you'll be prompted to sign the contract online, and the final approval of the contract comes from the department chair who signs the contract upon review of your signage and approval. An example of the contract information is provided on this slide. So you'll see the type of information in a contract is specifically required hours. So an example on this slide would be 8 to 10 hours per week. And also the means of evaluation. So this is the means by which you will be successful in the project. So an example here, it's not necessarily the same for all ROP projects, would be a thesis report taking up 50% of your grade, journal taking up 10%, reflection paper taking up 20%, and finally data analysis taking up the other 20%. And finally, in the contract, you'll see the terms of the project. So another measure in order for you to be successful, this example features maintaining confidentiality, regular updates on the work progress, and finally, attending weekly meetings. So here are some key resources to help you through the ROP application process. So us, the Experiential Education Unit, we're here to support you throughout this process. A lot of helpful information such as student eligibility, prerequisites and exclusions, ROP course registration, helpful tips, frequently asked questions, and many more can be found on our How to Apply webpage. So this is on the Experiential Education Unit website as a whole. You can also find a document on our website called Tips on How to Approach a Professor, which can be helpful in supporting your conversation with a faculty member that's running an ROP. And, this is a good thing to access when you're contacting ROP professors after you've applied as well. We do have another student ROP information session on February 25th. Many of you may not need this as you're here today, but if you do have additional questions or you want to see the process again, you can always sign up to attend that on our website as well. This would be on February 25th from 2 to 3 p.m. And as mentioned, if you have any other questions, we are always here to support you. So our email is rop.utm@utoronto.ca. We're also happy to meet with you individually. So if you do want to schedule, a one-to-one session, just asking questions, we are available to do this. Finally, the Career Center is another helpful resource you can access. They offer services on resume and cover letter writing and interview preparations. Please do visit their website to learn more. Finally, we have a student testimonial. So the EEU Student Ambassador Program is a co-curricular opportunity for UTM students to share their experiential learning experiences with their peers. It's an opportunity to work closely with EEU staff and raise awareness about 4-credit experiential learning opportunities happening on the UTM campus. There are various benefits to being an EEU student ambassador, such as earning CCR credit, building relationships with faculty and staff, developing public speaking and leadership skills, and giving back to the UTM community as a student liaison for the EEU. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce both Dua and Leah, who are 2 of our EEU student ambassadors this term. They'll be speaking to you about their experience participating in the ROP, and they'll further share how this experience has impacted their decision to apply to the EEU Student Ambassador Program. So thank you very much, Dua and Leah.
Hi, my name is Dua. I am a student in my 4th year. I'm in the neuroscience program, so it covers the departments of biology and psychology. I've been an EEU student ambassador for the past 2 years now, and I have been involved in one ROP. I think participating in an ROP is a really good way to get your foot in the door with research. I think it's an opportunity for you to start exploring other research. So for me, being a part of an ROP program has opened a lot of different doors for me in terms of other experiential opportunities or other research opportunities. I started off in a lab as an ROP student, and then I transitioned into a work study student, and I have been continuing there since I finished my ROP. So I'm still working in that lab now. I think that applying for the ROPs can be a little bit intimidating, but I would say try to have as much time as possible dedicated to applying for these ROPs. So have a good amount of time dedicated to exploring the different opportunities, find things that are of interest to you, and in your applications, make sure to tailor them to the specific opportunities and talk about why you're interested in that specific ROP. In your cover letter, make it very specific to the professor, show that you're very interested in the project, try to connect it to things that are personal to you, to your hobbies, or things that you enjoy learning in your classes. And that would really make you stand out. Something that I also did was send emails to the professors whose ROPs I applied to talk about why I'm interested in them. That made me stand out a little bit more from other applicants as well. And I think those are the main tips that I have for securing an ROP position.
Hi everyone, my name is Leia and I am in my 5th year and I've been doing this EU ambassador for past 2 years like Dua. And I'm a sociology student. I did RP and internship program. Today's RP information session, so I'll just briefly talk about my RP. So sociology, research is very, very important and it's sometimes really hard to find an opportunity. And I think RP is such a good way to get involved and get to know your faculty members. So I was in under Professor Jane Baker, and her research was about exploring TikTok and as an instruction and assessment tool. So I learned how to do literature review properly, and I analyzed some data. And also I was able to participate in the summer undergrad research fair, which is SURF. So there were so many valuable opportunities that I can do beyond my schoolwork, just submitting assignment and so on. So I really recommend, and I'm very happy to see all of you here to because you're like genuinely interested in, right? And I think most of the advice regarding the RP app, I think Dua well covered. But what I really want to emphasize is also try to like express something, like express your genuine interest and apply to something that really interests you. For example, I really was into like social media, and a lot of my assignments were aligning with the research topics. So I think that really worked well when professor reviewed my application. And also before the RP app opens, I try to like communicate with professors. I went to their office hour, be a familiar face, ask a question. So I think that really worked well for me to stand out between like a lot of applicants. So that is pretty much. And do your best. Don't keep it until the end, because RP app website is sometimes like have a lot of lags because a lot of people try to apply at once. So I would say prepare, and don't forget to make it as a separate document, because I believe this doesn't save all of the yeah, just try to copy and paste from your like separate document, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Let's give it another round of applause. Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay, so that is everything for the presentation. Thank you so much. Now we'll open up the floor for questions. So we'll stop the recording now. But of course, if you do have any further questions after this Q&A, you can always visit our website for FAQs and email us at rop.utm@utoronto.ca.